So the amazing stylish boot I'm going to reveal in today's video has been around for over 100 years. It's got an equestrian heritage and is incredibly masculine. They're also incredibly comfortable. You can dress them up, you can dress them down. They're versatile. And these boots have a storied history being designed to solve a problem, to fulfill a need at the moment. Now, if you know your footwear, you may be thinking, Chukkas, the classic desert boot developed in World War II by tailors in Cairo because the British soldiers at the time wanted a more comfortable combat boot. Well, that's a good guess, and Chukkas are great boots, but they're just too casual to wear with a suit. The boots I'm talking about today, you can actually wear with a casual suit. Oh, so you must be talking about Chelsea's. Again, good guess, but wrong. But no, Chelsea's are comfortable, they got great boots, but the boots I'm talking about in today's video have even more style. So the boot I'm talking about originated in India in the early 1920s. At the time, polo was a popular sport with the British officers stationed there, and they needed a heeled pair of boots that could keep them in the saddle and also would have high ankle support with the ability to stay on the foot. These boots also needed to provide a degree of protection, and as a bonus, it'd be nice if they were comfortable. Well, not only did this custom designed boot meet all those requirements, but it went on to be spread beyond India, becoming popular both in England and throughout Europe. In fact, in the 1930s, during Hollywood's golden age, it started to even crop up in the United States in movies. Costume designers and Hollywood stars loved this riding boot that was not only useful when you were riding a horse, but was incredibly comfortable when you were walking in and around the set. Mix in the Western fashion houses in the 1950s and 60s, looking for inspiration from equestrian-inspired footwear, this functional sportwear boot became functional with stylish men in the know. The boot style I'm talking about in today's video, the classic Jodhpur. Now, the name of the Jodhpur boots has its roots in the city of Jodhpur, located in Rajasthan, India, which, in case you didn't know, has a long equestrian and polo playing tradition. Now, the boots aren't actually named after the city. They were associated with the Jodhpur breeches, also known as polo breeches, that were developed prior to the boots in that city. And since these boots accompanied those breeches, they picked up the name Jodhpur as well. As you can see from the videos and pictures right here, these were my go-to shoes, these Jodhpurs, whenever I was traveling in New York. Just this last Christmas time, I wore these boots everywhere. They were the only boots I took. I think my fitness tracker recorded 15 miles walked over 3 days in these boots, and they held up well. They were incredibly comfortable, and they worked seamlessly with all the outfits I wore with them and the situations I put them in. We went to a lot of dinners, even went and saw the Rockettes at the Radio City Music Hall. Highly recommended, by the way. And speaking of New York City, let's talk about today's sponsor, Thursday Boots. I've been to their headquarters in New York City. I've met with the founders. I've been talking about Thursday Boots for years because I genuinely love these boots. I wear them all the time, and I love the fact that they have great styles. They've got all different types of boots, all different types of shoes over at their website, and you can get high quality boots at a fair price. And gents, if you haven't been over to the website for a while, you are in for a treat. They've got all new styles, whether you're looking for Western boots, dress shoes, Chukkas, or Chelsea's. If you're looking for boat shoes, if you're looking for brogues, if you want brogue boots, or just a classic lace-up like their diplomats or their captains, which I highly recommend either one of these, would be the boot that I would recommend you start with. And to make sure you get the best deal on the web, use that link in the description of today's video. Seriously, gents, you guys know I take care of you. I've got the best deal using that link. Go over to Thursday Boots, tons of style options. And again, you get one pair, you get your size nailed in. As a guy that has over 100 pairs of Thursday boots, yes, I have a lot of them, I can tell you that the size is consistent across the board, whether you're wearing their dress shoes, whether you're wearing their Western boots. But in the case you need to make a return, you need to make an exchange, Thursday has you covered. So gents, for the best value in boots, when it comes to price, when it comes to getting great quality, check out Thursday Boots. Just be careful, because when you get over there, you see all the different styles, all the different colors, all the different great looking boots that when you wear, you're going to get compliments. Guys, it's hard not to grab more than one pair over at Thursday. But in any case, gents, again, use that link in the description of today's video. Go over to Thursday Boots. They're a great company. I'm proud to support them. Go check them out. Again, use that link. Now, style-wise, what makes up a Jodhpur boot and what makes them unique? So the most distinctive feature on a pair of Jodhpurs is going to be the leather strap that wraps around the ankle. Now, as you can see here, like on any shoe on the upper here, we've got the vamp, and this larger area right here is called the tongue. Now, notice on this pair of boots how the tongue has two straps, one that's really long and another one that has a buckle. Well, in order to keep the boots on the rider, the Jodhpur boot was designed to have a permanent leather strap that would go around the ankle and cinch it tight, keeping the boot in place. Now, as you can see here, there's a slot on the front, there's a slot on the back, so you can actually loop the straps and even the buckle side through, keeping that leather strap neat, tidy, looking good, and the overall design on this is simple, elegant, and timeless. In fact, this design right here is why I think the Jodhpur can be dressed up more than a pair of Chelseas. I mean, seriously, on a lot of Chelseas, if you haven't noticed, there's going to be a contrast. You've got this elastic material right here. For a lot of people, this is what makes the shoe just, a bit more casual and very difficult to wear in a lot of people's minds with a full-on suit and tie. Now, if you go for a black pair with almost no contrast, you can easily wear this with a casual suit, even a full-on suit, if the weather's pushing you in that direction. But a shoe like this is versatile. You can dress it up, but if you want more style, look over to the Jodhpur. Man, that strap right there, the higher support around the ankle, even the overlay right here in the front, it feels more like a dress shoe. And I'll tell you, man, these things are stylish. Now, besides the wraparound strap, when it comes to Jodhpurs, another detail you're going to notice is that these are higher boots. They're made to go up at mid-ankle. And because you've got that strap that's going around and tightening it, these boots are going to offer some pretty decent support. In fact, if you're coming over from a pair of Chelseas, you're going to feel Jodhpurs feel a lot more like their laced cousins than they do the lower cut Chelseas or Chukkas. Now, historically, Jodhpurs have had a natural toe. That's going to have that rounded almond end right there. You're not really going to see any Jodhpurs out there with a square toe. We see this occasionally in Western boots, and usually that's there so that you could kick livestock or you could kick something to get it moving without causing too much damage. No, the rounded toe is preferred because it's perfect for being able to easily get your foot right into an English saddle. Now, the heel on a Jodhpur boot is substantial. We're talking at least an inch, but it's not going to be like Western boots. Western boots, especially cowboy boots or riding boots, we see heels that can be up to 2 inches. You'll also see this on Chelsea boots with Cuban heels. But unless you're going to be riding with Jodhpurs all the time, you really want that lower heel, that inch to 3/4 of an inch. And if you're going to be buying a pair, look for a heel that's going to have a rubber sole. It doesn't have to have it throughout the boot, but really right there on that heel. And you want something that's going to give you traction and a bit of cushion. Now, when it comes to style, we're going to see a classic calfskin that's polished. And overall, we're going to see sleek, minimal stitching. You're usually not going to see any broguing. And again, I really like this simple, clean design because if you polish this thing up, you can easily dress it up. Now, because these boots have a higher shaft, you can wear them with trousers that have a little bit of a higher cut. That being said, as a man that wears Jodhpurs, I've never adjusted any of my denim or any of my pants, and these work perfectly fine, especially if you don't have too slim of a taper. And you'll find that right here at the top of the shaft, unlike Western boots, these things are going to fit very close to the leg. And so with that being said, I would recommend that you wear at least calf-length socks that are not going to fall down. You want to make sure you have some of that sock between your ankle and the boot. Although on these ones right here by Thursdays, they've got a really nice soft inner lining, so it probably wouldn't even be an issue. In fact, the only reason I think you want to have your hem just a little bit higher is maybe to show off the footwear, what you're wearing. Because again, when I think of Jodhpurs, I think of shoes that pretty much only rock stars wear. Jodhpurs, you got to have confidence. They give like a rock star type vibe, especially if you're going to wear something like in a green suede right here. I've had these ones for a while. I love them, but I don't wear them as often. Those brown ones, they're a little bit more versatile, but these, man, they're just so much fun. Now, I talked about dressing them up. I talked about dressing them down. Now, as you can see here, my dark brown Jodhpurs, when I was traveling in New York, I wore them both with a pair of tan and dark brown trousers. These moleskin pants had a bit of a nap surface, and they kind of fit the middle ground. To me, they're more stylish, a little bit dressier than khakis. Now, if I wanted more of a dressed up look, I probably would go with a black pair of Jodhpurs, wear them with a gray suit, maybe with a black turtleneck and an overcoat. Maybe stick with those dark browns, a navy blue suit, and perhaps a navy polo, and maybe even a contrast jacket. Now, what about dressing down? This is where I think Jodhpurs have a really fun advantage. I know so many of you guys just, you like your dark denim, and you're like, Antonio, I'm not going to be wearing these things with a suit. Then wear them with your best jeans. Heck, I think if you're in shape, you can wear this with a V-neck t-shirt, or if you're not so in shape, put on a Henley, throw on a casual jacket. Overall, we've got a much more rugged, but still stylish look. Now, what's the drawback to wearing Jodhpurs? Well, as a traveler, I would say they're not as easy as Chelseas. Chelseas, I can slip on and off. Jodhpurs, you do have to go down there and undo the strap. I'll tell you though, this is a lot easier than laces. And I have to say on my most recent trip, it actually wasn't an issue at all, but that's a small deal. I know some of you guys just don't want to reach down at all. And I'll also say you really got to take care of them because Jodhpurs, because they've got that long leather strap that is actually part of the boot, you don't want it to dry out. You don't want it to crack. So you are going to want to make sure if you're wearing these things a lot that you are conditioning and you are polishing, but this should be pretty much on all of your nice footwear. If you want it to last, condition it, polish it, and use shoe trees. Because in case you don't know, shoe trees, what they do is they pull out a bit of moisture. They make sure to keep the shoe shaped in a way that looks good without getting all types of bumps and wrinkles on the leather. That being said, if you do have all types of bumps and wrinkles on your leather and you want to be able to get that out, guys, I got you covered in this video right here. It's actually, I got a lot of tips and tricks. I love talking about shoes, so I got you covered, guys. Check it out. Solid video right here. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you got any questions about Jodhpur, and yeah, keep watching. Boom, right here. I got you covered.